Back in Graz, when I was 15 and just getting started in bodybuilding, I looked to pioneers of the sport for inspiration. Trailblazers like Eugene Sandow, a turn-of-the-century cult superstar and one of the first to have defined abdominal muscles. And there was George Hackenschmidt, the Russian lion. Even today's bodybuilders are using exercises he pioneered, the Hackenschmidt squat. Here's a woman from my country, Katie Sandwina, the Lady Hercules. She became famous for pulling a whole trainload of people. So needless to say, I wouldn't have wanted to get into a wrestling match with her. There's John Grimmick, a guy who I really admired. He was the first Mr. Universe ever. Steve Reeves, another Mr. Universe, who was handsome, charismatic, and made a fortune in movies. Sounds familiar? So tonight, as we watch the greatest bodybuilders in the world battle for the first prize of $75,000, I am going to be thinking of the ones who made it possible. Welcome to the Arnold's Classic.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Hasta la vista, baby.
And welcome to a very festive Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Columbus, Ohio, for the 4th annual Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, where we are sure to see the most perfect bodies in the world. Hello, I'm Doug Cooney. I'm delighted to be here and thrilled to be working with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Good to see you again, Arnold.
Well, thank you very much, Doug. Thank you.
This weekend has become a rather festive occasion, hasn't it? It's a big event.
Doug, you're right. Simply because it has the name Arnold's Classic, it makes it a major event. It is, I think, right along with the Mr. Olympia competition, the biggest bodybuilding competition in the world. When I think about it, that when my days of competing, I got $1,000 for winning the Mr. Olympia contest. Today we have over $200,000 at the competition, so it really has moved remarkably up, and I think it's a very fast-growing sport.
Now, of course, these are the most dedicated bodybuilders in the world, and Arnold, it's not just money. There's a matter of pride here, isn't there?
It's a matter of pride, and is winning the title means a lot to those guys. I think it really means a lot also to the spectators, because, as you know, it's not just a bodybuilding competition where you see a lot of muscles and guys competing against each other, but it's also a whole weekend of festivities. It's like the pre-judging, it's the party, the ball where they're all gonna dance, it's the competition itself, it's the seminar. So it's really a lot of fun, and everyone is really happy here.
Well, listen, the auditorium is filling up. We better sit down or we'll lose our seats, Arnold.
I know. Let's sit down, Doug.
And now let's take a look at how the champion will be determined. The competition consists of 4 rounds: standing relax, compulsories, free posing, and the pose down. Rounds 1 and 2 took place earlier in the day.
Quarter turn to the right.
In round 1, the athletes are called out in groups of 3 or more and judged in comparison in a standing relaxed position.
Even though this round is called standing relaxed, it involves keeping all muscles tense, which is very difficult to do. But this is the round where the judges are looking at symmetry, proportion, and the overall development.
In round 2, the athletes are required to execute compulsory poses. What do we look for here, Arnold?
Well, Doug, this is a very important round, because when you have to show your compulsory poses, that means that there's certain poses that you can get around, regardless if you have a weak point in the area or not. So this is where you get really under the microscope, where they look at every single body part, and that's where you expose the strong points and the weak points.
At the completion of round 2, the field is cut to the top 10. Several hours later, the evening session begins with the free posing round. And Arnold, this is what the fans really come to see, isn't it?
Absolutely, because this is really the time where the athletes, the different bodybuilders, can choose their own posing routine and their own music and the amount of time they want to spend on stage and so on. So here's really the time where they can show off the strong points and actually hide the weak points, which you cannot do in the compulsory poses.
And the leaders thus far are Taylor, Schmidt, and Benaziza. And so far it's been tough competition, Arnold. Witness the big names who did not make the cut.
I think they will be very disappointed, because they also have been training 4 or 5 hours a day and preparing for this competition. Here's Vince Taylor, our leader of the competition. Now look at his muscularity and vascularity. He's in top shape.
Our MC tonight is three-time Mr. Universe, Reg Park.
Our next finalist from Germany. Welcome, Achim Albrecht.
Achim Albrecht, 29-year-old native of Germany, actually living in Laguna Vista, California. This, of course, Arnold, is the free pose round.
Yeah, and just watch him, how he slowly moves out. He wants to show how big he is, how monstrous he is and all this. This is his first pose also. A very monstrous pose, most muscular type of thing.
He looks huge to me. Now, interesting, Arnold, with each athlete having music and choreography, do their own personalities project in each routine, or are they basically the same?
I think this is one of the strong points of a free posing routine, that the bodybuilder's personality really comes out. You know, the guys that are really kind of more outgoing would then have a much more outgoing kind of posing routine, or a guy that is blocky would have a more blocky posing routine, you know, so you really can see a little bit of the personality there.
Achim Albrecht's been in bodybuilding 8 years. He's been a professional for 1 year. Ooh, he is massive, isn't he?
And I think that he knows right now that the audience is really responding well to his routine.
Okay, Achim Albrecht, fourth, entering round 3. We'll see how he does. When we return, we'll have the free pose of the powerful J.J. Marsh. And Arnold will help us understand what the judges look for in muscle definition and separation. Stay with us. We're in Columbus, Ohio at the 4th annual Arnold Schwarzenegger Bodybuilding Classic. And there's a look at J.J. Marsh, who's next up in the free posing round here at the sold-out Veterans Memorial Auditorium. And Arnold, this show gets bigger and bigger every year.
It definitely is the most successful bodybuilding competition in the world. Not only are we having $212,000 of total cash prizes, $75,000 for the first prize, but I think also the audience here is the most enthusiastic audience. It is becoming the bodybuilding capital of the world.
And our next competitor is J.J. Marsh, 31-year-old native of Mesa, Arizona, winner of the 1991 Ironman Pro Invitational. Now he's 7th entering round 3. Is that too much of a deficit to make up?
I think he can make up, especially now is the round where he can make up for that. But I think that he would have to put in a lot more temperament and a lot more drama in his posing routine in order to make up.
Now to me, Arnold, he looks a little less muscular than Albrecht, who preceded him.
I think it is because of what I said. He's overtrained a little bit. I really feel that, and I think that sometimes smoothens the muscles. One thing we can see here, and that is that he's very well proportioned. He has a really well proportioned body.
When it comes to J.J. watch this day. Competition better stay way far away. Cause when he flex the pecs, biceps, triceps, and quadriceps, the muscles connect with beats and neck. Breaking more than a sweat to get balls more defined than a muscular master, my sculpture. So how's it feel to have a statue coming at you? It's only natural to give it up, you have to. Because he does what it takes to get good, coming equipped to take the Arnold Classic. When he began, JJ's down to win. Soon as he stepped on the
Marsh
stage,
considers his back and legs to be his best muscle group. What do you think, Arnold?
I think it is his best muscle group, but I think that one thing that you can see is that he has tremendous amount of veins, which always shows definition.
Hey, that's J.J. Marsh.
Now here's a shot of his back. Look at the width and look at the thickness of the inner back here. And here are the arms, which is also one of his strong points. Huge biceps, defined triceps.
And Arnold, this pose also displays the muscle definition and separation, two key elements the judges always look for. And that was the topic yesterday when you joined bodybuilder Mike Ashley.
I'm here in the pump-up room, which is my favorite place to hang out. The reason why I'm here is I'm standing here with a great bodybuilding champion, Mike Ashley, and I want to point out to you spectators or fans of bodybuilding just a little bit about what bodybuilding is all about and how the judges really judge a competition and how they derive with a winner. So let's now have a little look here at Mike Ashley, at one of our champions, and the 1990 Arnold Classic champion. Mike, why don't you strike a double bicep pose right now? Now this is a pose here where the judges are looking at the separation and the proportion of the bicep tricep, then the pectoral development here, then the abdominals and the small waist. And may I remind you that Mike, of course, has a very small waist with 4.5% body fat. The thigh development, you see the striations here, which are very important, not just the size of the thigh, but also the separation and the calf development as well. Now let's turn around now and do the same pose from the back, because the judges always ask for the same pose from the back. Here again, calf development, leg bicep development, lower back striation, very important to win a competition. The center back has to be developed. Great separation and definition on the deltoids and separation between bicep and tricep, and of course the forearm development. Those are, thank you very much, Mike. You can come back again. Those are the simple poses. But with those poses, you really expose all your strong points and also your weaknesses. And this is why the judges look at those poses over and over again. Now, Doug, all the compulsory posing is round 2, but in round 3, it's just as important to show those poses because of the strong and weak points.
And Arnold, as we know, all 4 rounds are critical for the overall success of the champion.
Welcome on stage,
Trust me.
Mohammed Benaziza.
Ooh, a slow, deliberate approach for Mohammed Benaziza, 32-year-old, originally from Algeria, now living in France. And Arnold, at 5'2", Benaziza, the shortest man of the competition. The question begs to be asked, can the shorter man successfully compete against the taller men?
Definitely, and we have seen that with Franco Colombo way back, my old training partner. I think that if you have the proportions and the size, because where it is dangerous is when you stand next to the big guy, and there are certain tricks that those guys are using now where they stay away from the big guys.
So in the free posing, this is a chance to show your best, of course. Benaziza off to a slow pace, it seems.
It's really interesting because in the old days we always came out like wild lions and just hit one pose after the other to really arouse the audience. Now they're coming out with all these slow poses and these dramatic kind of routines and turns and all this stuff and heavy music. It's a different thing.
Now, wait a minute, Arnold. You refer to yourself as a lion?
Wow. Tremendous definition when you think about it. Look at the intercostals, look at the serratus, the wonderful proportion that he has, and the way he uses it very wisely. He looks very proportionate. I just love when a guy has this muscularity like this and he hits the most muscular pose and the lat spread and all these different shots. He did really well. Look at those triceps.
Mohamed Benaziza finishing his routine. He looks rather pleased and asking for a little encouragement from the audience. Is that to influence the judges, Arnold?
It does sometimes, and that's why they always do a second routine and get the audience up there. Here we see it in slow motion. Fabulous. Look at he's showing his triceps and his bicep development.
Boy, at 5'2", Benaziza packs a heck of a punch. Up next on Prime Network, we'll have Arnold's tribute to 8-time Mr. Olympia, Lee Haney.
That's it for the champ.
Welcome back on Prime Network to the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio, where the souvenir and t-shirt business is booming.
Please welcome Sonny Schmidt.
Next competitor of Sonny Schmidt, 34 years of age, from Australia, and a very colorful personality. Professional bodybuilder since 1989.
Abruptly, the sound ceased.
On with the program.
He's a new guy on the scene, and let me tell you, and he has made a tremendous impact with his size, with his proportion, the muscularity. He has a lot of things going, and I think that he has a good chance to do really well today.
Arnold, I was watching him in earlier rounds. I like the way he projects. He has a lot of personality and engages the audience.
He really lets the personality come out here, and he draws the audience in. You see now how they're screaming. He involves them right away with a dramatic pose.
Really comes alive here. I like that.
Yeah, he puts a lot of fire into this whole thing. He's known for his tremendous thigh development, leg biceps, the quadriceps, calves, everything is really great development.
Carries 245 pounds on that 5'9" frame, Arnold. Wow, great routine. I like his presentation.
It was a very, very good routine, and I think very effective. Look at his back here, how thick it is.
And Sonny Schmidt will catch his breath in the backstage area where earlier some of the world's top female bodybuilders prepared for the Ms. International, a competition which ended in a swirl of controversy. Paula Berkhamshaw of Yorkshire, England took the stage and showcased a body that was extremely defined and massive. Exactly what bodybuilders strive for. Or so we thought. But when the finalists were announced,
the judges have made their decision for the top 6.
To the amazement of many in the crowd, Paula Berkhamshaw was not among them. But then Berkhamshaw, street clothes and all, stormed the stage in protest, made an obscene gesture to the judges, and boldly exposed a sensitive issue in women's bodybuilding. Are the judges rejecting extreme muscularity in favor of a less massive look? The eventual winner, Anya Schreiner, visibly disturbed with Paula Berkhamshaw's antics, addressed the ambivalent crowd.
Last year, somebody else got the boost. Every year somebody gets them. But please appreciate our work too. But we want to keep the sport feminine. That's what you saw today.
Well, Arnold, what's this all about?
Well, as you can see, Berkhamshaw and Schreiner do have two different types of bodies. One is extremely muscular and is bigger, and the other one is more toned down, but also muscular and very well proportioned. So it's really a matter of opinion. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a muscle competition is about muscle. So where do you draw the line that this is as far as it should go and that's feminine and the rest of it is not feminine?
And the debate will go on. Well, here's a guy who settled a few debates, your former training partner and great friend, Arnold, two-time Mr. Olympia, Franco Colombo.
Oh yeah, my buddy Franco, I mean, he was a great training partner in the old days, let me tell you. He was incredibly strong and he was very intense with the training and he had a tremendous amount of willpower. He loved going to the gym and training. It's great to have him here.
And Arnold, of course, there are other special celebrities in the audience, most notably Lee Haney, who broke your record of 7 Mr. Olympias. And I know earlier you had a chance to spend a few special moments with him, didn't you?
Yes, absolutely, Doug. I wanted to recognize him as a real special champion. That's why I brought him out on stage and introduced him to the audience because he broke my record, like you said. He won the Mr. Olympia competition 8 times and you know, he is such a great champion and he represents the sport of bodybuilding so well that it really made me feel good to bring him out there and to recognize him especially, and he deserves it. Now there's one other person that Reg did not announce when he mentioned all the legends and the champions out there in the audience. And I want to announce him myself, which is Lee Haney. Where's Lee? Where's Lee? Come out here. I would like to bring Lee Haney out on stage. Come on, Lee. Here, let's hear it for Lee. Come on. Right over here, Lee. Come on. Come on, Lee. Everyone in the bodybuilding field said, well, Arnold, I think you're going to have this record for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden, came along Lee Haney, who started to win the Mr. Olympia in 1984, right? And then in 1985 and 86 and 87 and 88, and all of a sudden the question came, is he gonna tie your record, Arnold? And he went right by 89, 90, and 91, and he broke the record. And I tell you, records are there to be broken. I'm absolutely happy that this man has broken my record because he's the greatest bodybuilder. He's a wonderful gentleman, a great friend, and I'm really happy for you that you're this great champion, and I hope the greatest in the future for you. Thank you very much, Lee. Thank you. Let's hear it for Lee Haney. Let's hear it for the champ.
And when we return, we'll get back to the competition with the leader, Vince Taylor. Welcome back to the Arnold Classic on Prime Network. Doug Cooney along with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And before we return to the competition, we want to show you what over 1,000 fans line up for here every year. The afternoon photo session with the Terminator himself. And Arnold, you really do enjoy meeting the fans, don't you?
I have a great time when they all come up and take the picture. You know, different personalities, different characters, some of them from the last year that I recognize. And, you know, it's really a fun event.
Now, between you, me, and the millions of viewers, Arnold, I want to know how you stand there for over 3 hours without getting bored.
Well, watch it. Very easy. You just direct it a little bit. You see, I'm showing right now the cameraman how to direct this shot, how he can make it my point of view.
Oh, I
see now, here's the final shot. And now I tell him to beat it. See, now we go on with the whole thing. You know, you got to do that.
I see. Champion bodybuilder turned actor and now director. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
And bodybuilding fans, next year's Classic is set for March 6th, right here at Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Columbus, Ohio. For tickets, you can call or write to Ticketmaster. Believe me, it's a fabulous weekend. Coming up, we have one of those fabulous bodybuilders, our leader entering round 3, Vince Taylor, whose final placement here last year was disappointing to himself and the fans as well.
Third place goes to Vince Taylor.
I kind of felt that I was in the running with the adrenaline flowing. You want to do well, you want to be there, but it just wasn't there. But that was last year. This is a new year. I'm ready. The crowd's ready. Wait till you see this routine tonight. Oh man, let me stop. We're ready.
Big hand for our next contestant, Vince Taylor.
Come and turn it loud. Make sure the music's loud.
He's very experienced in posing. He knows that this is going to really grab the audience if you turn up the sound a little bit more. looks absolutely fantastic, as you can see. Look at the definition in the pectoral muscles in the back.
I long to hold you near, baby, this time together.
Taylor, 5'8", weighing 230 pounds, extremely cut up.
You close, taking time to let you know. Tonight's the night we will share. Turn off the lights, come close to me. Tell me I'm all you ever need. Tell me it's not just a dream. And if it is, my heart believes that you are mine, and this is real. Loving you all through the night. It will be alright.
I told you I'll be back.
Oh, using my mind, huh?
Now look at this, Arnold. He's really a great showman.
Oh, it's fabulous, and the people love it. Look at this, playing this human machine.
Program mission. I rolled you in Orlando. Let me rock you here in Columbus.
He knows he's in great shape. He knows that he has the audience now. The audience is with him totally. And he's really showing the definition of the thighs, abdominal illustration of the pectoral muscles and all that. And he's showing confidence.
Legit to quit.
Is he unbeatable, Arnold?
I think it could very well be that he's unbeatable because he has found now the groove of how to pour the audience into his posing routine, how to make them part of him and really scream and show their appreciation and all that. He's playing with them right now. Here's another great back post. Look at the center back. Double bicep again to show his proportions of bicep, tricep.
Tried and true. Survival of the finish, so it brought me through. I'm bruised hard, we're ready to strike. Train for the minute to believe the hype and sweat it, cause you're gonna regret it. The day that you distance, you wish you never met us, you remind me of a real short story. One hit.
I think that this routine is probably just about one of the best routines I've seen in the whole history of bodybuilding. He just wants to make sure that the judges understand he is the best.
Well, Vince Taylor with a tremendous physique, a superb presentation, but to me, his ability to involve the audience really wins me over, Arnold.
Yeah,
And backstage, the fatigue making itself very evident.
First of all, he's an expert in communicating with the audience. And second, he really hits the right shots, the most muscular to show his muscularity. And then, of course, one of his big highlights is of course, his biceps development.
It's great routine. Oh, very. I had to cut off the end of me because I got too tired. It was a bit too long. The ending was perfect. Very good. A lot of work on that.
Boy, these routines take everything out of you, don't they?
Yeah, he's exhausted, but feeling good.
And our final competitor, Steve Brisbois. Now, Arnold, has to be very difficult to follow such a great routine as we just saw from Vince Taylor.
It is a nightmare for a guy like him, let me tell you. First of all, because he's a shorter fellow, he's a smaller fellow, and then on top of it, who's going to follow a posing routine like that? So you really have a big disadvantage to follow a guy like Vince Taylor. I think that he's struggling right now, Steve. He's struggling right now to get that audience attention and because it has somewhat of an influence on the judges when the audience is screaming. Beautiful back, wonderful pose.
Steve, not quite as animated as others, and I think the choreography and music is, to me, what separates the champion from that person that's going to come in second or third, Arnold, in addition to the physique.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the posing routine, the music, the theme that you pick, all has a lot to do with that, yes.
Okay, Steve Brisbois from Orlando, Florida.
This shows a perfect situation here where with one pose you show off the whole entire back. Here the calves and the upper back. And the arms, the triceps, everything. You can see everything in this pose.
You know what, guys? This is tiring. I need a nice, cold Canadian beer.
As you can see, even a relatively slow-paced routine takes its toll on these athletes. And posing, of course, is very demanding physically.
It is unbelievably demanding, yes. So I think he needs his beer.
May need a couple. Well, Brisbois was our final competitor in round 3, and now it's left in the hands of the judges to decide who will advance to the pose down. And we'll have that announcement when we return. Welcome back to the Arnold Classic. Doug Coney along with Arnold Schwarzenegger on Prime Network. And Arnold, we're just about ready for the announcement of the 6th finalist.
This is a tremendous amount of tension that is created before the 6 finalists are called out, because you always wonder, is it going to be you in there or out of there? And let me tell you, it's scary.
Final placing order.
Here's Reg Park.
Would the following contestant please come on stage? Hakim Albrecht.
Yeah, he had to be in there. That's an obvious one. He's a monster, this guy. So I think he felt pretty comfortable about being in there.
He is massive, Arnold. Absolutely. Fourth, entering round 4.
Thierry Pastel.
We didn't see him earlier. He was 6th entering round 4, but he's in the final 6.
Very good in posing.
Sonny Schmidt.
And Sonny Schmidt, the showman.
I mean, I knew that he's going to be in there. And I think that he knew too. He deserves to be in there, really.
He does. I like him.
Mohamed Benaziza.
Well, the 5'2", shortest man in the competition, he's in there. Does he have a chance for the championship?
I doubt it, that to win. But I mean, to be in the top 6 is already good. Vince Taylor, now, of course, he was an obvious.
First, entering round 4.
It'll be interesting now to watch the pose off, really. I'm really looking forward to that.
Steve Brisbois.
Okay, and Steve, our final member of the final 6.
Well, there are 3 shorter guys in there, so you can see that they are having a good chance.
Now, Arnold, at this point, what's the strategy?
Well, the strategy really is to show off your strong points. I mean, if you have good arm developments, do as many arm poses as you can. And so right now they're going through, of course, the first round, which is the compulsory poses, where the judges have a chance now to really compare biceps with biceps, abdominals with abdominals, legs with legs, and so on.
On your far left, that's Hakim Albrecht right there.
Yes.
In a tight shot. Unbelievably muscular.
Yeah, huge lads. But you see, a small guy here has a disadvantage now, because now you're compared with the other guys. The small guy is really falling behind here.
Vince Taylor, our leader, coming into round 6, second from the right.
Yeah, he's very smart. He's showing his leg biceps now and his biceps inside chest pose. I mean, he's really trying to get as many different muscles displayed there as possible.
It's Mohamed Benaziza from the backside, and Sonny Schmidt in the red trunks.
Yes, terrific back.
Lat spread.
How do they look to you?
I think they look really terrific. All of them belong up there, needless to say. But I think, as I said earlier, the bigger guys. Look at Vince Taylor's back and Schmidt's back. I said that's just this is the round where the shorter guys fall behind.
This is Vince Taylor again.
Yeah.
Muscularity.
Look at the triceps.
Wow.
Look at the triceps. Now I think they're going into free posing, where each of them can do whatever they want to do.
And if the music man's ready, pose down.
Well, now the pace really picks up as we go into the free off.
This is actually where the decisions are made, I would say, because everyone can do their favorite poses, hide their weak points here, really play up the strong points and move around the way they want, and really also show their personalities. I say that if the judges have not made up their mind yet, this is the time where everything is happening.
Look at this, Arnold. Benaziza having a great deal of fun up there. Impressive. He knows he's in the running.
Well, you see, the key thing here is to show confidence.
Yes.
Not just the poses. The body here is not the most important thing. What is very important here is that the facial expression shows that you're having a good time. This is all just a fun thing. You don't have to struggle for it. You're already a champion, so you're there to display.
And there, Sonny Schmidt, look at him. He really warms up this crowd, and he's looking at the competitors. He said, I want to be compared to this guy. I'm better than he is.
That's correct. That's exactly what he's saying here.
Look, he's encouraging the crowd to vote for him.
Look at this.
Oh, and Arnold Schmidt chasing the little guy. Is that a bully picking on him?
No, I think it's actually funny because as you can see, the people are really enjoying that, and they're really now posing, and I think there's a lot of energy going in there when they move from pose to pose, and it's fabulous. I think this is what the crowd also enjoys the most, and the judges also enjoy it the most.
Okay, gentlemen, relax.
Now they're showing, how they're good sportsmen and stuff like that.
Gentlemen, while the judges are computing.
Now look at Sonny Schmidt, Arnold. First he goes after the leader, Vince Taylor. Then he confronts Hakim Albrecht. And then he finds the smallest man on stage, Mohamed Benaziza, and completely engulfs his pose. Great stuff. We'll have the awards presentation when we return in a moment. We're in the shadow of the oldest high-rise here in Columbus, Ohio, the Levesque Tower, for the 4th annual Arnold Schwarzenegger Bodybuilding Classic. And we're just about ready for the awards presentation. Let's reset the finalists. Hakim Albrecht, Mohamed Benaziza, Steve Brisbois, Terry Postel, Sonny Schmidt, and Vince Taylor. Let's go to Reg Park.
And the winner of the 6th place goes to Terry Pastel.
A good performance, Arnold, but not surprising that he's not in the top 3 at least.
I think it's a very good performance.
5th place goes to Steve Brisbois.
Steve was 5th entering round 4.
But as you can see, the shorter guys did fall behind, as I said earlier.
4th place goes to Hakim Albrecht.
Probably the largest man physically at 250 pounds. Somewhat a surprise, perhaps, that he's in 4th.
Well, I think that the judges have not maybe seen the maturity of the body and the quality of the body that the other 3 have. So I think, size is not everything.
Crowd certainly likes him. He put on a great performance.
Absolutely. I'm really curious now who is going to be 3rd, 2nd, and 1st.
3rd place
This will be interesting.
goes to Sonny Schmidt.
Boy, some perhaps thought he should have placed higher. You can hear the size of disappointment, can't you?
Well, it's people just think because he's huge and very, very enormous looking that he should be high up there. But it just doesn't have the rest of it.
And now for the announcement coming up that Sonny Schmidt, he's in 3rd. And it comes down to these 2 men for the championship, $75,000 on the line.
And the winner of the 1992 Arnold Classic, Vince Taylor.
There's your champion, Vince Taylor.
Now he must be extremely happy now because finally he made it. Last year he came 3rd. He felt disappointed about it last year. This year, he trained the whole year really hard. Look at the enthusiasm of the crowd. I think that the people are behind him. The bodybuilders see him as the winner. He himself is extremely happy now. I know what it feels like when you train the whole year really hard. It's fantastic.
And Mohammed Benaziza, of course, placing 2nd, the shortest man in the competition, really comes through in the clutch. But the moment belongs to Vince Taylor, winner of the 4th annual Arnold Classic. Back in Columbus, Ohio, where Vince Taylor has just won the 4th annual Arnold Classic. Certainly the biggest win in his 9-year career. After a 3rd-place finish here last year, he's finally broken through with a major victory. And Vince will join Arnold backstage when we return in a moment. Back in Columbus, Ohio, where the Arnold Classic is in the books. Here's the order, finish, and prize money awarded. An excellent competition and a superb performance by Vince Taylor, who walks away with $75,000. He's with Arnold right now.
Vince Taylor, you must be on an all-time high right now, winning the Arnold Classic. You won by 29 points. I think this must be a record. How do you feel?
Oh, absolutely fantastic, Arnold. And just being here talking to you is the icing on the cake. So, I'm winning in 2 worlds now.
And what do you think made you the winner? I mean, what did you have that the others didn't have?
I think we all came prepared, but the bottom line is conditioning. I nailed condition this time. Shape, muscularity is part of the game, as we know, but emphasis on conditioning hasn't been there. I'm bringing in condition as the #1 asset to bodybuilding, and I think if you have that, it separates you, and I had it tonight.
So what's next on the plan?
We're looking for the Arnold Classic 8 times again, and Mr. Olympia somewhere in the middle, so I got a full schedule coming up in the next few years.
I think you have a good chance to break all the records. Congratulations.
It's a pleasure, Arnold. Thank you very much.
Okay, Doug?
I agree, Arnold. The way he performed tonight, he just might win 8 more of your titles.
Vince Taylor, the winner of the 1992 Arnold Classic.
We'll be back to wrap things up in a moment. Back to wrap things up at the 4th annual Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And Arnold, We find ourselves backstage. Is this the only place we could find some seats?
Well, when you have a sold-out auditorium like we have, I mean, you beggars can't be choosers, so be happy, okay?
Well, I'm happy. And by the way, your impressions of the competition, it really was quite special.
Oh, I'm absolutely delighted. I tell you, when you're a producer of an event like this and you see it sold out, you see such great bodybuilders competing, you see the atmosphere, the excitement here and all this, and really the best men win. I am delighted, and I can't wait for the next year's championship.
Well, for Arnold Schwarzenegger, this is Doug Cooney saying so long from Columbus, Ohio. See you next year, everybody. So long.
So long.
I told you I'll be back. Step forward, please. Program mission. I rolled you in Orlando. Let me rock you here in Columbus.
KLF is gonna